Good morning, guys. Lexiot's Raptor Freak here on the morning after a game that we beat the Philadelphia 76ers last night. And there were a lot of good things that were in that game. I'm really pleased with a lot of stuff. As displeased as I was yesterday after the Boston game, I'm very pleased today because some promise was really shown today. Once these guys get some synergy and can pass it between each other, they're going to be really nasty. It's like really right now, all we've been doing is messing around and just going out there and playing. And I don't really feel like we've been trying to really meld as strongly as we could. And the more we meld over the season, the more our offense is going to look really good and actually get better to try to not be stopped. Like there's going to be points where our offense gets so good that nobody can stop it also, because it's just we've got to figure out those plays and those little things that we can do against other teams that are deadly. And I really feel like last night we showed a lot more team play between players, and that really helped. And I give a lot of credit to Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet is playing like a playmaker, whether it's he's finding his shot early. Like he really set up the game really well today or last night. He was out there dishing the ball. He was involved in the first couple baskets. He made them himself, and then he was passing around there. And then if you notice at the end of the game on the sly, OG took over the game, guys, because OG in the last 2 minutes was involved in almost all their points. Both those threes that Gary and Fred VanVleet made in the last 2 minutes of the game were assists from OG. OG drove to the lane and he kicked it out, and they hit open threes, and that was beautiful. That's the kind of stuff I've been calling out for and wanting all along, and they finally started doing it last night. And OG, I got to give you a lot of credit and props, man. You only got 20 points last night, but they were really sneaky on the down low kind of 20 points, getting muscling around the basket, hitting a three here or there, and then like those assists. And then not only that, he iced the 2 free throws at the end of the game also. So OG, you did a little bit of on the down low superstar stuff, but it really was Fred. It was the Fred VanVleet superstar show last night. And wow, the ball's on him. Literally, the ball's on him. Doing the Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell's an assistant coach on the Philadelphia 76ers who used to play for the Florida State Seminoles. I know a lot about Sam Cassell because he's from my alma mater, just like Scotty Barnes, Florida State. And well, Sam Cassell's known for that holding his balls little thing that they did. And Fred just mimicked him, and kind of disrespectful to do that. And now some people are on Instagram and different social media trying to say that Fred should get fined for that gesture should cost him $10,000. Those snitches need to shut up. No, they don't need to give him a fine for enjoying himself. To me, that's fascism. I've talked about it before. Players celebrate in the NFL and they get fined, and even this whole thing right now with Aaron Rodgers and then this guy with his shirt untucked, he gets fined more, but Aaron Rodgers, what he does doesn't get fined as much. Man, it's all messed up. Anyway, let's just keep focused on the Raptors, and what a great game last night. Nick Nurse did a really good job with his rotations last night. I don't know if somebody on that team or somebody's listening, because I've been calling for these quick and fast substitutions. And you know what? They didn't wait 8 minutes into the game, 10 minutes in the game to put their first subs in, which is really smart because it's the second day of a back-to-back, and the guys are going to be gassed. Don't put them out for the whole first quarter like you do sometimes, Nick. Did it exactly right. He brought Chris and Delano in almost immediately, like 5 minutes in the game. And then he was subbing guys every 5 minutes. And he said it in the press conference. He was trying to mix and match starters with bench guys and get a good flow for the whole game. And you know what he did? He did got a good flow the whole game. He got good energy from the team the whole time through the game, whether it was on defense and just looking sharp on offense and being able to compete on offense. This is what I've been asking for. And oh my gosh, it worked. It really looked good, the fact that way he was substituting guys every 5 minutes. And I really loved that he paired up Precious with Andre Drummond last night. Like he consciously said, whenever Drummond's out there, I'm playing Precious. And whenever whatchamacallit on their bench, their second center comes out, I'm going to put Boucher out there. And he was consciously matching the centers. And I really think that was smart, and it worked really well. Now, some people may say Precious had a bad game last night, but he really didn't. Yeah, he was 1 for 10. He didn't score a lot of points. He didn't get that double-double we were talking about yesterday. But you know what? He held Andre Drummond to 4 points, guys. And he got those 2 of those points really late in the game, like on a broken play. Can you believe that? Andre Drummond, as big as he is and as dominant as he is with rebounds, he only got 4 points last night. And that's a huge, very successful thing right there. So, wow. I was just really impressed with all that. Let's go down the list. I want to see what you guys are saying this morning. If I forget to talk about anything, I want to talk about almost everybody on the team that played last night. And also, we got to talk about this first 905 game last night. They played the Westchester Knicks last night, and the 905 dominated them. Oh, yeah, they did. They beat them like 20, 30 points, something like that. It was nasty. And Isaac Bonga killed it in that game. He was just nasty, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. All right, let's see. MK47, good morning. Let's go. All right, I wanted to see the real Raptor Freak, but a win is better. All right, listen. I'm sure at some point in the season, it'll get bad enough that you'll see me really get crazy and maybe get real angry and sad or whatever, depressed. But it's much better to see me smiling and happy the next day. Trust me, because that means all of us are smiling, right? All right, MK, I'm excited to talk about Boucher today. Okay, let's do this right now. Okay, Chris, oh, thank God Chris finally did something good. And I think part of it is that he got in really early. He got a good amount of minutes. And I think that, I think it's turned the corner with him. Like he said it in the press conference after the game, that he really was set back by his finger injury. He had good chemistry going before that, but then, he ran into Precious. Precious put his finger back, and then he had to get finger surgery all of a sudden. And that really messed up his chemistry and keeping up with the guys. And I think he's finally catching up. I feel like OG is specifically trying to help Chris because they're really tight as friends. And I feel like there's a little, he'll dump it off of Chris or give him really good, easy looks to get those confidence boosts. But boy, didn't we all feel real good when we saw that Trey Boucher 3 go in finally? When we saw him loft it, and it went through the basket finally. Oh my gosh, just that alone made me feel like he's back. I was like, he's back. When I saw him hit the 3, I was like, he's back. And he ended up with 17 points last night. That's really good. I think he only played 20 minutes in overall, and he got 17 points. So that is fantastic. 24 minutes, 17 points, 6 rebounds. Just really, really good by Chris. Chris got blocks. He was active on defense. He was really active on the rebounds too. Just a great game by Chris Boucher, and he really needed it and deserved it. And hopefully this will keep people off his back for wanting to trade him or anything like that, and he can just build off of this. Because like he said, he's trying to figure out his role on this team. Last year, he had a role that he needed to score and do a lot of stuff for us. But this year, it's not necessarily that. He's got to figure out what his spots are and what his real role is. And I think his role is to be like a really good help defender, roving and blocking shots and just a threat on defense. And then on the offense, hopefully he can hit his three-pointers. And that's a big part of it on that side. But, man, the way he's going to the basket, the stuff he's doing near the basket, all phenomenal. And I'm so happy for somebody like him to get his head out of the funk. And he even said it last night. This may have been the worst stretch of his career for basketball. And we got to realize there's ebbs and flows in people's careers. They go up and down according to injury or maybe even body rhythm. Your body rhythm, your natural body rhythm isn't right for a little while, and you got to overcome it. And I think that's what happened to him, is that his rhythm was off and he is just having a bad stretch. And that's tough. That's tough. We've seen it happen with different players before where they're just having a hard time. And I think hopefully he's getting out of it now. Tomorrow's going to be a really good game for all kinds of different reasons, guys. We're going to be full strength tomorrow. You know what? Just 10 minutes ago, they sent Delano Banton to 905, guys. He's playing for the 905 today in their game today. And I'm sure he'll be back for the game tomorrow. But that's just a sign of things right there. The Delano got sent to Raptors 905 this morning. And, that's great. They had a great first game. But you know what else? Tomorrow we're getting Yuta back and Cam. So we're going to be full strength tomorrow. We're going to have every single person, all hands on deck. Pascal, Yuta Watanabe, Kem Birch. They're all going to be there tomorrow against Detroit. And we're going to finally get to see this team at full strength. And this is going to be a lot of fun against a team like Detroit because we don't want to take them lightly, They're not winning a lot right now, but they're a team that can be dangerous at times, especially Casey. Casey wants to beat us for obvious reasons. So we really got to take them seriously. Tomorrow I'll do a more in-depth preview, but looking at it right now, it looks like we're going to have everybody available tomorrow, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And I hope that he really uses our depth and our new guys and rotating quick and fast like he did last night, because Nick Nurse did a masterful job rotating in and out of that game. He did it in a way so that at the end of the game, none of our guys looked tired and gassed, and they could operate in a really high-functioning way. Like that stuff with OG and Fred and Gary at the end, if those guys were gassed from playing too much, because they held them out and they brought them in for the last 5 minutes, Fred was ready. Fred was ready then. He wasn't totally gassed. Because I really feel like we overgassed guys early in the game, and they never really recovered their breath because they played like a full first quarter or something like that. I don't like that. There's no reason to do that, Nick. And last night you showed that there is no reason to do that, because we can be sufficient and fluid throughout the whole game in a really constant way if we don't have these lulls. And that really was a big part of it last night. We didn't have any real bad lulls last night, especially on defense. Maybe on offense at times we had a hard time scoring, but the defense was almost always there. There were very few breakdowns. And if there were maybe one or two here or there, but never like a whole bunch of series of where we weren't guarding them really well, because our defense was on last night. It was really on last night. It was really good. Yeah, Kenny, good morning, man. I'm happy with how we won too, man. It just looked a lot more synergetic. There was more fast breaks. There was a lot more passing. There was, I just love this whole idea of OG going to the basket or Scotty going to the basket and kicking it out. And Svi's there for an open three, or Gary's there for an open three. And that Gary Trent three in the corner was a tough shot. And that's clutch, baby. That's what I'm saying. Gary Trent has some clutch to his game. That was a high-pressure shot in the corner with the defender right in his face, and he made it. He made that shot. He may not make three-pointers all during the game, but he makes the big one at the end. Go figure. And Fred, wow, smacked a little bit of Kawhi's little rim shot that goes woo, 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 and then fell in. That was beautiful. And I love that swagger by him after that. All that, There was so many things about last night that were awesome. Like Kyle Lowry's mom was at the game last night with a Raptor jersey on, cheering for us. And I love that she didn't just go with him, that she still is in our family, because she really is. She is a Raptor mom. She always will be. And I really give her some credit to bringing that good mom energy into the building to allow somebody like Fred VanVleet to go crazy like that, because I really feel like those vibes were there for them. The big balls. Yeah, the big balls. Sam Cassell's big balls. Yeah. Our energy was on another level. Yeah, I believe that, MK. It's the way it should be. This should be our normal, guys. The game against Boston wasn't normal. I don't know what the fuck was going on with them. They were all dogging it and tired and something like that. But then on the second day of a back-to-back, they looked so energetic. Like, what is going on there? I think it was motivation to look way better than they did against Boston, because that Boston game was embarrassing. I'm not going to lie. It was embarrassing. And last night, they came with it. I didn't realize Tobias Harris was going to play last night. I didn't realize Seth Curry was going to suit up after all. They were brought into it at the last minute. They're like, okay, yeah, they're playing. And then, Tobias played pretty good, but he had 4 turnovers. We got 4 turnovers on him, and he just wasn't enough. Seth Curry, another guy who shot pretty good. Maxey, what an incredible player. Like, Maxey is nasty, and he's a little bit scary because he's really young. And, I wouldn't want Ben Simmons after watching that last night. I'm like, you know what, Ben Simmons, peace out, man. We got Maxey. Maxey's doing something. You know what I'm saying? So let's see. What else is you guys saying here? MK says, Boucher needs to play with high activity. Yeah, high activity, high energy, just high everything. He just needs to be going. Just go, 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 go. And he'll be successful. I mean, he's just got the right body for basketball. He's that quick and he's that long. And like how easy it is for him to grab the rim and just like all the different things, like the blocks. And yeah, he's just nasty. I love his game. I love seeing him block somebody when they don't even think they're going to get blocked. There's just so many different things like that. That scares teams. When Chris Boucher's out there and they know he's lurking, they know they can't just shoot. They gotta figure out where he is, because he will come and block them. OG playmaking is getting really good. Yes. This is something that was crucial to our game winning last night. And this was the thing. I was really watching the last 6 minutes of the game because it was close. And there could have been all kinds of funny stuff with the referees doing funny things. They were doing a little bit of funny things, but it really didn't matter in the end. And we just did the right things. We did the right veteran things to take over the game and ensure that we won. And I love that. I love that because that was veteran poise. We saw Fred VanVleet step up as a superstar. When I say I need a superstar, I need 30 points and I need somebody to put their will on the game and bring us to a win. That's what I mean. And that was Fred last night. And he did a great job. But OG on the down low was a really big part of that. And I can't not talk about Scotty Barnes right now either, because even without Ken Birch, we got our offensive rebounds finally last night, which was awesome. But Scotty had 6 of them. Scotty had 6 offensive rebounds last night. So I love that because I was really worried without Ken Birch, we couldn't get those offensive rebound going like that. But Scotty did it last night, which was really, really good. All right, Paul B, let's go. Raps are back. I believe it and I see it. You know, tomorrow we got Detroit here in Toronto. That should be an easy game. I don't want to say completely easy, but we should just handle them. And then we go on this West Coast trip for 2 weeks, guys. And it's a little hairy out there. But at least the games are all spread out pretty good. We get some rest and break. And, there's some of them are pretty winnable games, Sacramento, different places. But some of them are going to be really tough. I mean, Golden State's really rolling. They've only lost 1 game, and we're playing Portland and Utah on this trip. So it's going to be really interesting, fun West Coast trip when they leave tomorrow to go out west. And they're going to be gone for 2 weeks. We ain't going to see them for 2 weeks, and they'll be playing like 7 or 8 games out on the west. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. Boucher playing all out was fantastic. Yeah, I think that he has been playing all out already. It's just maybe he's, like I said, his rhythm and his playing all out was leading to turnovers and fouls and missing shots because maybe he was trying too hard. I think he was trying too hard in some ways, guys, because he really wanted to do well. And sometimes when you try too hard, that's worse. It makes it more messed up. And I feel like he played it a good, like everything last night. He was just doing things right and get his game going. Is sometimes you got to give them that well on offense. You got to help them and give them a little bit more to help jumpstart them and get their offense going in the right way. Maxey looks really good, Paul. Like that kid, he shot a really high percentage for a guy who's shooting really deep and stuff like that. I think it was like, let me look at this. He shot 12 for 19. And these aren't shots that like are layups like Jared Allen like shots or anything like that. These are like deep threes, like Steph Curry deep threes, and he shot 12 for 19. That's scary. I don't want him to do that to us or do that, ever again. Like, because he'll help them win playing like that. But yeah, all right, Gary. Yeah, Gary making tough shots. Gary, once again, showing up throughout the game here and there with little poppers and little shots here and there to keep our offense going. And that's really a big part of what is helping us stay in games is Gary just like showing up and giving us some offense time to time. And that shot was huge. That corner shot was not easy. And he's been missing a lot of shots like that, but he made that one when it really counted. And that was I love this team. I love seeing them all excel in their different ways and how they can add it all up to being a cumulative big W. And that's what happened yesterday. It really was a lot of different parts working together in really well in good ways. And some of them, you may look like, wow, Precious didn't really have a good game. But honestly, Precious had one of his best games of the year last night. I mean, he did stuff against Drummond that was really impressive to me. Like he was really holding Drummond off the boards more than he could have. Like Drummond's box, he played 30 minutes. He got 4 points. That's it, guys. He was 2 of 8. He only got 12 rebounds. He didn't get 20 rebounds like he should have. So we contained Drummond really well. And that was Precious solely. Like Nick Nurse said, when Drummond was out there, I was playing Precious. They mirrored each other's minutes. Like, I don't know. Did they have exactly the same minutes? Drummond played 30 and Precious played 30. Yeah, they did. They played exactly the same. All right, let's see. Paul, can Gary be our final possession player? Yeah, I think so. We can draw plays for Gary to win the game for us. He's done it before. He did it last year for us. He did it in the preseason. He didn't win the preseason game, but he hit a shot at the end of the half that looked like a clutch kind of shot. Yeah, I think Gary could be that kind of guy. But this is the thing. I love this because we have so many different options. Other teams won't be able to know who to key on at the end of games because it could come from anywhere. It could be OG going to the basket trying to bull his way in, but if he kicks it out to any one of three guys that are on the perimeter that shoot threes, they don't know who to guard. You can just get it to the open guy like Fred or Gary at the end of the game last night. And that's really successful. Those guys will hit those open shots, especially late. And I love seeing it too with Spee earlier in the game too. He hit an open three off a kick out too. So this is going to be nasty. Once we get this worked out, it's almost like we're not even playing with a plan yet on our offense. Like they're just saying isolate, beat guys on your own, isolate. That's all we've been doing. But when we start getting actual team plays and plays off of each other more often, like, all right, did you guys see that play that Delano did for Fred on that three at the top of the key? That little weird screen that he did and got him open? That was beautiful. They could do that at any time. Like that play, getting Fred open like that, they could do that at any time. And it was just nasty. Like the little Delano cut at the top of the key with the screen and Fred was open all of a sudden. He just hit it. Oh my gosh. See, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about that can make our offense way better, is that we just start getting tight plays, tight screens, tight like little two-man pick and rolls, tight kick it from driving to the lane and having the defense collapse around you, and then you kick it to the open guy. You know, these are things we haven't even been doing yet, and we're still winning games right now. So it's just going to get nastier and nastier for other teams once we figure out our offense more. That's what I'm really realizing right now. You know, so yesterday it was all about, oh, we need a center, we need to trade and stuff like that. And you know what? I want to give some credit to I'm a Fun Guy, who came into the comments yesterday on yesterday's stream, and he gave me a reality check. And I need this sometimes because I know Raptor fans, we overreact sometimes. And I try not to do this. But thank you, I'm a Fun Guy, for speaking to me like that, because I needed to be spoken to like that. I was overreacting. There's no reason for us to trade these guys. You know, if it happens, it happens. But you know what? We could win like this. But I worry that we need that pivot still, that we do need one more big center, because I just don't like seeing us get dominated down low. But if Precious can handle a guy like Andre Drummond like last night, then I have a little bit more confidence in us with our roster the way it is right now. Because that's a big, huge weakness I see that could be used against us later. But we didn't even have Kim last night. And Chris played good as the backup center last night. And Precious was masterful again in the defensive center position last night. He really was. He was really good. Okay, let's go. MK, that zone at the end of the third had Philly flustered. Yeah. I mean, we were doing different things to really mess up their offense. And let's just be real here. That team wasn't exactly, I mean, without Embiid and, you know, that team isn't exactly who they are, you know. So, but it's good that we beat them. This is the first time we played them. We beat them on their home court. You know, this is the thing. We're going to people's other buildings and beating them. The top of the East teams, Philadelphia, New York, Boston. We beat all of them on their courts. I look forward to when we go to Milwaukee. I look forward when we go to Atlanta, because I want to beat these guys on their home courts also. And that's what we've been doing so far. And nobody expected us to do that kind of stuff. Like the way that I listened to the other stream, the Philadelphia stream last night, and the way they were talking about the game, you know, they have respect for us and stuff, but they really expected Philly to just beat us last night. And when the game turned out the way it did at the end, they sounded real morose and they're like disappointed. And they didn't realize that was going to happen, that Fred VanVleet was going to show his big balls and carry us to the end. And boy, did he. It was, man, it was glorious. It was glorious. I mean, and I could do a ref manipulation because there were a couple of little weird things that happened in that, but I don't even remember. I forgot about them because we won. That's all that matters, you know. Yes. All right, let's see. Scotty's jumpers were looking nasty. He's a special player, and his putbacks under the rim. That one play where he dribbled up on Korkmaz and just shot over him, that about 10-footer, that was really good because that shot looked really good. It wasn't even like it was automatic. And yes, this is what I'm saying. Like, he's a rookie. He's still finding his game. He's still finding his place and stuff like that. But he's already showing signs of the kind of superstar that can take over games and win games, because the stuff he's doing is that kind of stuff. You know, it's Kawhi level stuff. And we need him to develop and get more like that. But I love what Scotty's doing. Tomorrow's going to be really interesting with the starting lineup, because we're going to have so many people he's going to have to choose from and figure out the starting lineup. And Detroit is kind of big still. So I would still like us to start a center no matter what. And then this is where we start talking about maybe Scotty's coming off the bench. maybe tomorrow because we're going to be full strength again. I don't know. We'll see what Nick does. But I think he's been pretty good with his rotations lately, other than the Boston game and the Brooklyn game. But other than we'll see what he does with the starting lineup, because that's a big factor in how we start and how we're doing, because we didn't have a center against Boston and they killed us. Al Horford and Robert Williams killed us, and we can't allow that. So that's why I think we need to start Precious or Khem for sure. All right, let's see. Oh, Starscream's here this morning, man. Good to see you, bro. All right, let's see. Paul B, the way broadcasts were drooling over Scotty all game. I know. Oh, the whole USA and all the American teams in the NBA are going to be wanting him, coveting him, thinking about him. They'll talk big about him. They may slam our whole team, but that's Scotty Barnes. Boy, wasn't he something, But that's the thing. I really hope he takes to us and he stays with this franchise and becomes our franchise player going forward. I love Pascal. I love OG. I love Fred. But in some ways, I really want Scotty to be our future. I want him to be the guy we build around, and that these guys can be there too and a part of it. But Scotty is the man. Scotty is our man. He's the one we want. That's what I'm saying. All right. Precious with the lob to Boucher was very fun to see. Yeah. Look at that. The 5 to the 5 passing like that. And Precious just showed a lot of different stuff in there for having a 1 for 10 game. He showed a lot of stuff last night that was really impressive. And like I said, he didn't have a bad game. And Nick Nurse said it too. He did not have a bad game last night. And Precious with the clutch air ball to Scotty for the layup. Yeah. I mean, well, sometimes these guys shoot those shots, even if they're not very good, because they know they've got a good defender down there. I know Fred shot one like that last night because he saw Scotty was already down there. He's like, oh, Scotty's already down there. He'll shoot something that may not be exactly the best shot just because he knows a garbage man might be down there to clean it up. Paul B, I feel like we have so many closing options, but I'm nervous we may just have our team standing and watching Pascal back down a player and throw it off the back iron too hard. Hope Scotty can close. Yeah. I mean, this is a problem. This is like the thing with Boston is like, well, why didn't you do it? Well, why didn't you do it? Well, like I said, let's pay attention during the game, Nick Nurse, and see who's getting the hot hand or who's got it going that night, and then feed them late. It could be any of the guys. It could be any of them, honestly. Like last year, Stanley Johnson had a game over 30 points. So it should be the kind of thing where we're watching through the game and we want to see a hero. We want to see a superstar emerge from anywhere in our roster. It could be a Chris Boucher. It could be a Precious Achua. It could be a Svi Mahalik. It could be a Malachi Flint, even if he's in there and he's really going. We just need somebody to show up and be that superstar in the end that makes the points to help us win in the end. It's more likely going to be Pascal, Fred, OG, or Scotty, but it could be other guys too that step up and do that in certain games. And that's what I really want them to pay attention to with that, because it isn't always going to be clear who our go-to guys should be at the end of the game. And I think it really should be partly dependent on who's got it going, but maybe also if somebody isn't got it going, but we know that they can get a big shot. Like Fred may not be playing that great, but he can make a big shot, but they're not really paying attention because he hasn't been playing well. And we get him a shot at the end. All of a sudden he makes the one shot then. That kind of stuff. But it's going to have to figure out every game. It's not like set in stone. Every game we're like, Pascal's our go-to guy at the end of the game. Pascal. We can't do that because we have too many options, and we'd rather have that kind of unidentified threat where these guys don't know actually how to draw up their plays for defense at the end of the game. The coach is like, I don't know what they're going to do, guys. I don't know what to write out here because it could be this person. It could be this person, kind of stuff. So, all right, let's keep going. Starscream, good morning, man. Good to have a good Knicks fan here, right? Good win for you guys. Don't you think it's interesting that 4 of Philly's 5 losses are in the division? 0-4 on the season so far. Wow. That's a really good, interesting stat, man. And you right, you didn't mention them last time when you were here, that you didn't think they were one of the top Eastern Atlantic Division teams. And I love that. And you might be right, because honestly, every year it seems like the NBA likes to pick a team that they really push and knock us over the head with, like Philadelphia. And it's been Philadelphia for a couple of years now because they really want this Embiid Simmons experiment to work. And just seeing it fall apart this year, and they're still holding on to the narrative of it. They really got to figure out that at some point, I know their record's good so far, but honestly, at some point we're gonna figure out Philadelphia, all these teams in the NBA. And I think that in a way, their double center strategy of having Embiid and Drummond is going to backfire on them. because Drummond is a liability in a lot of ways. In some ways, they lost their game last night because of Drummond. And I think that Embiid has a lot of those same qualities that take away from a team also. It's one of these weird things. It's like you live and die by the sword with a big center now in the NBA. It's like you can have that advantage, but you really got to make sure that they're scoring and dominating, doing good things for you. Because if they aren't, they could be a huge liability for you on the other end. They can't cover quicker, smaller centers that are running around them and stuff like that. So it's really interesting. I'm glad you're here again, Starscream. And yeah, you guys are still rolling pretty good there in New York. I haven't seen. I know you guys played the Bulls or something this week or something. That was a tough game. I remember. MK, we won a jump ball for once. Yeah, they didn't just hand it to Marcus Smart. These jump balls, they really are. The more since Nick Nurse said this about jump balls and how they take away from the game and slow it down and everything, I hate them now. Whenever I see them set up for a jump ball, I'm like, oh, this is taking so long. We already have all these breaks in the game now because of this stupid watching TV for like 5 minutes and watching plays over and over again. I'm just sick of this NBA. I love the fast-paced, up-tempo-ness of the game, and you just take too much out of the game when you stop it for so long. These stoppages are stupid, and they're bad for the game. And I think that you also on the download manipulate the game to be slower in certain ways by calling them like, oh, we need to review this and stuff like that. And look at them, those petty motherfuckers having to review Gary Trent's feet on that three in the corner at the end of the game just to try and make sure that we got the three. Come on. They don't do shit like that to everybody in the league. And when they did that to Gary Trent with where his feet was, I was like, come on, really? All right, let's keep going. Starscream, I think it's because people expected Toronto to take Suggs. Yeah, I think they did too. I think that the NBA wanted us to take Suggs, and they really wanted Scotty Barnes to be the franchise player for the Orlando Magic right now. And it didn't happen that way. And thank God. Thank God for Toronto fans. Thank God that Bobby Webster and Masai Ujiri are just smart men, and they don't want to deal with the NBA's narrative they're trying to write. We're going to write our own narrative because we're not supposed to be in the NBA narrative. That's just how it is. They don't want Toronto to be in the NBA narrative. So we have to write our own narrative, and that's how we won a championship in 2019. And that's the way we're going to do it again. When we do it again, is we got to write our own narrative because the NBA is not going to write it for us. They're not going to want us to be like, oh, plucky team from Canada come in and stuff like that. All right, Paul B. Chuck guarantees Scotty's winning the Rookie of the Year. I'm guessing you're saying Barkley. Yeah, I think it's a good sign. The thing about the reason why Scotty Barnes will probably win Rookie of the Year is because he's a throwback. And a lot of these old voters are old players, and they like to see the game played the right way. And when they see a youngster like Scotty Barnes coming out there doing veteran stuff in his rookie year or doing the kind of things that throwback players used to do, and that the young guys don't necessarily learn or know when they come into the league, they have to learn it over time. They don't learn it till like 10 years in the league. The fact that he's doing that kind of stuff already really impresses people like Charles Barkley. So, he may be right that like he could, Scotty could get benched for a period of time this year and not get to start just because of the glut of our talent. And he could still win Rookie of the Year because he's just that impressive. Like he could come off the bench and average 20 points for us off the bench if we really fed him off the bench as a six man. So I feel good. I feel real good about Scotty just excelling and continuing to contribute to this team to get W's in any kind of way he can. And it's a lot of it's right now is being a trap man. It's just being near the basket and getting those offensive rebounds, putting them back, and just going to get loose balls and playing some crazy ass just all over them. He's really annoying to other teams' guards. I'm sure he is when they're trying to bring the ball up the court and he's right there all over them. Yeah, they don't like that. Andrew, let's go! Yeah, baby. The dagger was the balls. The dagger was the balls for sure. I mean, that was the balls dagger. And he better not get fined for that. If the NBA tries to fine Fred VanVleet in the aftermath for this, fuck you, NBA, fining people for having fun and feeling good. Peanut. Yeah. Soulja, good morning, man. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here. I'm here every morning between 8 and 11 a.m. I'll do a live stream where I interact with all Raptors passionate fans, and we talk about what happened the day before or what's going to happen tonight. We do a preview or a reaction every morning. I'm here, Soulja. So if you want to come join us, please like, comment, subscribe. You can talk Raptors with me every day, and I will. Every single comment that comes up here, if it's not retracted because of cussing, Paul, I see what you did. I will read it. Even if it's stupid and silly, y'all can start messing with me on that. I might, I'll react to it in a real way if you write something crazy, but I will. All right, Starscream. I did say last time I was here that I thought you guys were the second best team in the division. Now, granted, I did forget about Philly, but at least you guys beat them. All right, so you did. Okay, you weren't factoring in Philly into that original statement. Okay, you just forgot about them. Okay, yeah, I know. You're the Nets fan. Okay, see, we had a Knicks fan too. You're the Nets fan. All right, you're both New York, so I got to remember you're the Nets fan. Okay, if you feature a big center, they need to be a playmaker like Jokic that can also shoot. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to get somebody like a Jokic or somebody like a Jared Allen or somebody, I don't know. We just let it run, I guess. I got to trust in Bobby and Masai and just say, you know what? We're not playing with the center. We're going to play with Kem Birch and Precious and Chris Boucher, and that's just how we're rolling. But, we could be worse. We could have Alex Len and Aaron Baines. So, Kenrick, good morning, man. Good to see you this morning. Nice to see the ball go in for Chris and Nick. Is smart for taking him out, even though he was playing good. Keep him confident and hungry. Yeah. We got him in early. I think that was a big part of it, is that he went in with Delano in the first substitution, and it wasn't even like it was maybe 5 minutes into the game. Like he usually subs like 8 minutes or 10 minutes in the game, or even after the first quarter. But he did it like really early last night. I really super liked that. Because when he did that, he took some starters out, and then he could mix starters in throughout the whole game. It set him up real nice because he always had either Fred and OG or Gary and Scotty or Precious always out there. There was always two starters and at least three role players or somebody's off the bench at all times, and it was a good mix. It was a good mix of not just going like all starters and then bench, like some teams do, or like we've done in the past. I don't like that necessarily. I like to have the mix and when you do it early and you're doing it often, you can really try different things. And there were some combos that he had last night that looked really good and that were working really good. And I know they're keeping track of which ones do really well. Like, because that's the thing. We got to try all these combinations. It's like a combination lock. We're trying different combinations, and some of them are magic. They're pure magic. Like that Fred VanVleet, Scotty Barnes, Delano Banton, Chris Boucher, Kem Birch lineup is nasty when that lineup is out there. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Just me. We're better off. They overlook us. Yeah. That's one of our stealth powers as a team. They overlook us in the media. They don't talk about us. They don't give us any credit. And it feeds our guys. It gives us our guys more energy and anger to want to prove them wrong. And then also we just like we come up out of the water and they don't know where we're coming from, or they're like surprised. Oh, real NBA people know about us. Real NBA people. It's like the media does it just for the fans and other people, the perception of it. It's almost like a media war. It's like they want us to, this is how they do it. It's like that. Okay, let's see. Fred is having a better season than Lowry. Wow, Andrew. I don't know. I haven't looked at their stats comparatively. Lowry had a big game last night. He basically won the game against the Clippers. He got like 20 points in the fourth quarter and helped Miami beat the Clippers last night, which with a big thing. But there are games where Lowry has just disappeared. Like he doesn't get any points, but he may get like 8 assists or something like that. But yeah. All right, Steve Sleeve, good morning. Points leader in the Raptor Freak trivia. 9:05, off to a good start. Love to see it. Yeah, I got the highlights. I'm going to watch them after this. I just found them on YouTube, but I saw the box score. I saw what Isaac Bonga did last night, and this guy's a real player. Like I understand now why they kept him over Decker, because he's all-around player. Like he's the kind of guy, he has a body type like Chris Boucher. He can do a lot of what Chris Boucher does. But you know what he was doing last night? He was dribbling the ball up the court and passing it to people. He was playing like point guard kind of stuff last night. And David Johnson did really good in the game also. And there's a guy, Rousey or something. There's a little white guy. He was bombing threes all over the place for the 905 last night. And they look good. They had Encompto out there for a little bit. The 7'2" guy was out there for a bit. I'll watch the highlights and see what happened. But they really blew out the Westchester Knicks last night. Like they beat the crap out of them pretty bad. And like I said, Delano's with them. They just sent him like 15, 20 minutes ago to 905. He's going to play in their game tonight, Delano Banton. So that'll be interesting to see him get there. But he'll be back with the Raptors tomorrow in Detroit against Detroit. So let's see. All right, yeah, Starscream. Lowry had 22 in the fourth quarter yesterday. Yeah, he did, and he helped them win that game. It was really, really, Lowry's great. I'm always gonna have love for Lowry, except for when he's playing us. But I love that his mom was at our game last night. Okay, Marie Holloway was at the Raptors game in Philadelphia cheering for the Raptors, and you know what? We won. All right, just me. Expect ups and downs. Young and experienced, and have still done better than we should have expected this fast. The future is very bright. This is so true. Their ups and downs. Their downs are not that bad right now, considering how their ups are for being so young and experienced. And it just makes you wonder, like, as they finally craft the piece of wood that is the 2021-2022 Toronto Raptors roster, that how beautiful this machine is going to work by the end of the year if they really, really get their shit together and really understand what they're doing on offense and get to know each other's second nature. The more and more of that, and even over years, you accumulate this kind of chemistry between players over years. The stuff that Fred and Kyle had, the stuff that Kyle and DeMar had, the stuff that Fred and Norman had, that kind of stuff, it gets built over years. And I may be expecting too much too fast, that this is something that they need to just work out and get better and better at over time. But if this is what's happening already and we're winning, yeah. All right, let's see. Getting a big center can also clog the paint. Starscream is right. They have to have real purpose. Yeah. That may be why, you don't want just have Fred Gillespie around, is because, he's a big body. He can clog up stuff. He can get some fouls and get some rebounds. But, you want some skill in there. You want something that adds to another layer to their game. And that's the kind of thing we're looking at. Like Chris Boucher does that. He has another layer to his game other than doing this. But he's not really a true center to me. Or, Precious, he does a certain thing. Kem does a couple different things. So we really, that's to be somebody like that, somebody that adds something more than. And the other thing is, in the NBA today, you have to be 7 foot and mobile. You can't be like Drummond. Drummond is a liability because he's not that mobile in some ways. So it's a really tough fit to find, and that maybe, and they are really rare. So maybe that's why we don't have that kind of thing, is because there's just not that much of it in the NBA. It's just really hard to have. And some teams are stockpiling it. Like they have like 3 or 4 guys that are like that. Some teams do that, like Cleveland. Let's see. All right, let's keep going. Paul B, Romero Gill, and Alex Antetokounmpo with some points and boards for the 905 and a blowout. Yeah, the highlights are up on YouTube. I found them on the G League channel. They have them there. There's about 16 minutes of highlights there. I think it's the whole game condensed as much as they can. But, yeah, they didn't get a lot of points, either one of them. I don't think they got to play a whole lot either. But they were out there. They did get to play. Starscream, that's why teams defend Embiid better in the playoffs, because he's only looking to score and rarely play makes. Yeah, you just double Embiid. You just frustrate him. You get a hand in his face. You can stop Embiid. It's a weird thing. It's like some days, centers can dominate still, and some days centers are such a liability, and it's really like the matchup and stuff. And I feel like that's part of why our team is built the way it is that Masai realizes that maybe this big center, like having Jonas before or Mark before, it has been a liability in certain ways, and he wants to get around that, but even also try and see a way to beat that still. But I'm old school. This is the why I'm always saying, have to have a center. We have to have a center. We have to be bigger than the other team. That's how you win basketball. So, but we do. We look small sometimes because of this, and that's just how it is. We'll see in the playoffs. Like that's the kind of thing in a half court. If Embiid can start killing you in a half court, I want to play against Embiid. We haven't really got to see him a whole lot. We got to see him in the preseason that one little bit, but I really want to see us against Embiid because Embiid has improved. He's a better player this year than even last year. Like, yeah, he's nasty in some ways, but he's also a liability. Just me. Development is priority this year. Hate when those who got high expectations early turn on the team, overreact, snark, and insult. Yeah. I never saw this as the priority this year. I think the priority is to win still, and you can still develop while you're doing it. But I know what you're saying. It's like when they lose some games, like they've lost recently. Players are like, "Yeah, I told you so." Oh, they're just a development team. You shouldn't expect them to win because they're all this kind of stuff. But I'm like, no, let's do it all. Let's do it all. We can have it all, baby. But didn't we almost have it all? No, I think we can have it all. So, and yeah, no reason to be insulting, snarking, or anything like overreact, guilty. Because honestly, some people turn on this team so quick, and they like it's like you're not like, is this how you treat, like if you're in a relationship with somebody, you want to treat them like that, or if you have a kid or something like that, you just like turn on them if they fail a little bit all of a sudden? That's really bad. Like it says something about the person more that they're so quick to turn on somebody like that. Paul B, Clippers won. Heat didn't have big nuts. Oh, the Clippers won that game. I thought the Heat won that game. Oh, okay. I just saw the highlight that Lowry was big. It's like, oh, and Lowry's back. I just figured Miami must have won that game. Okay, well, good. That's good because the Eastern team lost, and that's what I want to see. Oh, there's the dog barking at me. That's the normal dog barking at me. All right. Okay. Alex Antetokounmpo is on 905. Yeah, he is. He played last night. He played a couple minutes. Brian, good morning, man. Good to see you. I noticed that whenever GTJ decides to wear less strands of hair in front of his face, he plays well. He just needs to move his hair out of his eyesight, and then his three will start going down. That's funny. Maybe that's true. I don't know. I think that it's still just like his rhythm in some ways, but he's finding it in different ways. And I just love that he's consistently scoring still, even if he's not making all the shots. Like, he didn't shoot that bad last night. He was 7 for 16. He was 4 for 9 for threes, 20 points. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'll take that from him. That's steady scoring, especially when we're having a hard time scoring. He's finding the basket sometimes when we really need it, and that's really big, big, big. Let's keep going. Just me. Yeah, it takes years. Everyone should love we are so ahead of schedule and appreciate it. Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it, that we're ahead of schedule and it does take years. And that, who knows, we'll see what happens. I hope that we can do it faster than anybody. Like, what a Cinderella story. What a crazy story. A team gets thrown together and their first year together, they win. And then they just have years and years of getting better and better together. And like, they can continue to win. Like, I would love that. Like, I want our ceiling to just keep going up and up and up and just achieve. And we just, because we get better and better together, the ceiling just keeps going up. And our ceiling already looks pretty high. So, all right, MK47. We should have picked on Drummond more on offense. Yeah, they could have gone around him. I mean, we were to an extent. When he got matched up with people like Fred killed him. There were a couple times where I saw Drummond look really bad on defense, trying to catch up to our guys or just getting away from him and stuff like that. Just me. I do miss Serge, to be honest. Yeah, I miss Serge too. I miss Serge for his off court and just his personality, but I also miss Serge just for his clout and his toughness on the court. Like, people didn't mess with the Raptors when we had Serge Ibaka on our team, because on the down low, he was like an Oakley kind of enforcer. And I miss that. I want that on this team again. And maybe Precious is that guy, because Precious could be that guy. If he's able to handle a guy like Drummond and he's not afraid to mix it up with people like the Morris brothers, then, it could be Precious. But I don't think it's in Kem's personality to be that kind of enforcer. So I think it really would have to be Precious. Precious would have to be our kind of enforcer guy. But, man, I love Serge too. He played in a G League game yesterday. They were talking about how he was playing against Amir Johnson in the G League game yesterday, which is interesting. Starscream, do you think Nick Nurse should let Scotty play some point guard with second unit? I remember Jason Kidd forcing Giannis to play point early in his career. Now Giannis is a decent playmaker. Yeah, I think we're already kind of doing that. Like, when they sub out Fred, they don't put in Malachi or Goran anymore. They leave either Delano in, and there's sometimes they don't have Delano in there either, and it is Scotty. Scotty is basically our point guard at times, and this is when we go positionless. We'll have a 6-7 guy all the way through the whole 5 lineup, and this is where we're switching out every which way. But Scotty is the default figurehead point guard at that point. Yeah. And some of us have talked about, like, who do we start with all of our guys coming back healthy? Because Pascal's back. Who do we start? And we even talked about the other day having a lineup with Fred off the bench, with Scotty starting forward, with Gary, OG, Pascal, and one of the centers. I just feel like it's essential that we have either Precious or Kem in the starting lineup, more so in some ways. If Fred should start probably, and that's crazy, but that could be a starting lineup that we have where Scotty's the point guard and have all big guys out there. and Fred's off the bench like that, or Fred's hurt like that, we might do that. I could Drew. Development means winning. Winning is good for development. Yes, that's right. That's the right attitude. That's exactly right. And what happened when they got drafted on Open Gym? Masai Ujiri, Papa Nigeria's on there. He's like, and you know what we're going to do, right? He's like on the phone. You know what we're going to do? You know what we're going to do? Win. And they're like, yeah, win. It's right from the start. They're saying that. All right, Andrew. But if we lose, at least we can get some reps for our rookies, and we can blame them too. It's all our rookies' fault. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, just get reps, get them playing. I mean, nobody expected Delano Banton to be a rotation player at this point in his career right now. He should have been down at 905 with David Johnson and Isaac Bonga and Justin Champagny. But he's now already a rotation player on the main roster and important. But he's going to get more time today because he's at the 905 games and he'll get to play today. I'm sure he'll start and he'll get a lot of burn up on that level of competition, because then we'll really see something. All right, let's keep going. Kenrick, we know he can play. We are forcing Scotty to show he can bang with the bigs. Yeah, we kind of have to at this point. With Kem out this week, Scotty has been playing a lot of pivot defense and banging with the big guys, and he's fine. He's fine. This is the crazy thing. When I saw this guy's body, I was like, this dude has shoulders like Dwight Howard. This guy has baby fat. He's only 20 years old. He's only 7 right now, but he could grow up and be 7 foot like Kevin Garnett in the next 2 years, because a 20-year-old ain't done growing. He could grow a couple more inches still. And when he starts working out and really getting his baby fat off his body and it turns into the muscle, look out. Scotty Barnes will be able to handle centers defensively in this league. I really believe that. And then you look at it where he's able to guard the center, and he's also able to run the point guard like we were just talking about with Starscream. That's a Magic Johnson. That's what Magic used to do. He could guard centers and play point guard. So it's really nasty. It's really nasty. The prospects of what Scotty Barnes could develop into and become over time is really nasty. Oh, yeah, it's really nasty. Let's see. Paul B. Raptors assigned Banton and 905 today. Suit up today. Yeah. I saw that just before I went on. Banton will be playing for 905 today. He's going to get some extended burn there. I want to see a stat line after a game down there. And then, he's really just doing it for the reps and for the time. And it's good. He needs that taste. I'd love them to send Scotty down there today, too. Send Scotty over there and give him a taste, too, for just a sec. There's no problem with that. He can play in both games. He's a young guy. Get him another game out there. Do it, especially on an off day. Because some of these guys may go and play 905 games and then get on the highway and come straight to the Air Canada Center and play in the Raptor game later in the night. We've been known to do that. This happened ever. He can play for both teams. Just me. Masai is really working on positionless basketball for the team. Yeah, I believe that. That's what he's doing. That's why we kept Bond instead of Decker. There's all kinds of different things on the download that this team is getting constructed towards and over time. And it's really, we're seeing more of it like this year than ever. Like they've been kind of building towards this the last couple of years already, but we're really seeing it now. Like just because of the glut and how many of these positionless type players we have on the team now. Just me. I miss Serge's attitude. Nobody messed with and really hit his art. Yeah, his art. His life is art. He is art. And he is the original man. He is avec class. He is How Hungry Are You? All that kind of stuff. That show was so awesome. I can't watch Serge on social media anymore because it breaks my heart that he's not on our team anymore. I can't watch his shows anymore, any of his Instagram or anything, because I miss him here. It's hilarious, like what Serge is all about. Serge is a musical artist too, guys. He puts out videos all the time on YouTube. Like he does music with other artists and he sings and raps in the songs. Like you go to YouTube and put Serge Ibaka in for music videos, you'll get like 6 or 7 videos of his that you can watch right now. And it's all like he's chilling and it's like, and he's just like, he's smooth, man. He's got all his cool clothes on and he's just like living his life. I love it. It's like always in like a island locale or something like that, or maybe somewhere in Africa. It's like his videos are awesome. Honestly, I highly recommend Serge's music. Let's see. Andrew, positionless works well for getting back on D. We can still crash the offensive boards and get back on D. There's all kinds of different hidden benefits from positionless. We deal with mismatches way better. We can do all kinds of different things. I love it. It's just the wave of the future. And we're on the top of that wave. And the other teams are, like I said before, they're paddling on their surfboard to get up on the next wave. We're already on the wave. So let's go. Paul B, that 15-game win streak in the scarf video memes was peak Raptors. Yeah, that 15-game win streak was so much fun, and then giving scarves to the whole team and OG scarf stuff and all that. Just yeah, Serge was just awesome. He's always going to be in my good books. It's a little weird how he left. Like I felt like he wanted to stay, but something happened there, and I know he was pissed at Nick for not playing him in the bubble near the end of the games against Boston in that 7-game series. He was pissed at Nick Nurse for not letting him play at the end of those games, and that may have been part of it also. But I don't know what happened with that, because like Serge really could have helped us in that COVID year, that's for sure. Oh yeah, but I know that it was partly because we were trying to save money to get Giannis, and it was that whole big scheme of that. We couldn't keep those two big guys, and still try and go for Giannis when we thought there was a possibility, but it just didn't happen. Okay, let's keep going, guys. Ballows S, good morning. Glad to see you, man. Welcome. Raps are just one stud center away from contending. No, we'll see. It could be we're going to contend anyway, but it may be that we can't win a championship without what you're saying there. It could be, but like I said, the championship year, we made that deal and got Marc Gasol. So who knows? Who knows? Trust in Messiah could be doing some wheeling and dealing sometime this season, and the team could get upgraded just a little bit, and we could make a run if they really think it's like feasible or possible. It may be that that's not really in the plans. Like we're all saying, this is a development year. Don't really get realistic and go shoot your shot just to get a championship this year. It's like, still building, but we'll see. I mean, I love that. What Andrew said is exactly right. You win in development too. You can win in development because that's part of developing, is learning how to win. So let's keep going. I missed her. Oh yeah, we already read that. Where are we? Okay, just me. Yep. Anybody who says they expected Delano to be with the Raps, not 905, is lying. He's been a great surprise. Yeah, I mean, where he was drafted, like 46 in the NBA draft, and just the fact that like I was a little hesitant that like it was just kind of a feel good pick when I heard that he was from Toronto. I was like, oh, is this just a feel good pick? It's like, oh, make a big deal, but no, this dude is for real. And honestly, like people have been saying, if he waited a year and came out the next draft, he might have been a top 10 pick in the draft next year. So I love it. I just think Masai's a brilliant man, and the things that he does. And I want these guys to play on 905. I want Scotty Barnes to play on 905 because he needs to have that experience. He needs to have that taste. Even if he just goes down there and plays one game for them, I want him to go down there at least once. I think that every rookie, every young player should play at that level. It's just how it is. Steve Sleeve, Banton's about to play 4 days in a row. Busy man. His hard work will make him great. Yeah. These youngsters, they need the reps. They need the time. They need this kind of burn. And I love it. I don't think he's complaining. I think he's loving every minute of it. I'm sure he is. Just me. I can't watch Serge anymore. He hurts too much. And I think it hurts Serge too much because it seems like ever since he left us, he's been hurt. It's like that Steve Ballmer guy, he wanted to build his own little Raptors team on the West Coast with the Clippers. Boy, where's that got you? You realize that it's not just getting Kawhi and Serge and different players like that. You can have a championship. You got to build the whole organization and the attitude of the team and the synergy and all that the right way also. Clippers, you can't just put the ingredients on the table and just think you're going to win. So I love that. And Serge, yeah, I want him to be healthy. I want him to do well, but he's been hurt pretty much the whole time since he left the Raptors. So what can you do? That maybe in that way that we dodged a bullet because he might have been just hurt for us. Okay, let's go. Yeah, he wore the Afghan scarf. The Afghan as a scarf. Just me. Apparently, Serge said in an interview he didn't want to share position play time, and they resigned Gasol, so that's why he left. That's so dumb because look at what he's doing in the Clippers. It's not like he's a starter there or that super important. In fact, his role probably lessened when he went to the LA Clippers. So, it is what it is, Serge Ibaka. It's just going to be what it is. Good morning, Sue. Glad to see you here. All right. Well, let me just make sure. I'm going to start wrapping it up. We're right at around an hour, and I've got to wrap up before 10 because things have to happen here. Let me just look and see if there's anything that I missed that I want to talk about. I want to say that Scotty Barnes had six offensive rebounds last night. That's really good. Like I said, Precious mirrored Andre Drummond's minutes, and he held them on pretty good. Yeah, it's just a good all-around. He only played 8 guys last night, Nick, but he rotated them really well, where they didn't seem gassed or have any problems or anything like that. And I'm really happy about that, because that was a problem in the Boston game. We looked tired and we just gave up. But like, quick substitutions, different guys, different combos coming in, and the other team's just still guessing and having to deal with that energy. So, all right, guys. Yes, Darren, I am always tired of all the Pascal hate, and even I was hating Pascal a little bit this week, and I hate myself for it, because I want him to succeed. I want our guys to succeed. And all right, guys, just me. Thanks, man. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. I appreciate your takes also, guys, and what you're bringing me and talking to me. Because, like, honestly, I'm doing half of this. I used to make a sheet with all these points that I wanted to make, but I just kind of go off my top of my head, and I get cues from what you guys are telling me. And you really do a good job of making this fun and continuing to do this. I want to do this all season. So look for me 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Some point I'll be in there for maybe a half hour or an hour, and we can talk every day and just keep up on what's going on. Andrew, beating the Sixers on a second game of back-to-back is always fun. Yeah, it was a good game, good win, and a message to the NBA too. Like, they're going to see that. People are going to be like, oh, Philadelphia is so good. They're tooting their horn. They see that we beat them. Fred hate, Nick Nurse hate, all the hate. Yeah, all the hate, all the stupid hate from fans. Let's stay on this right team. Remember who you're in the trenches with. And don't like jump out of the trench and aim the gun at your own guys just because they're having a hard time. The fans that are like that are the worst. All right, guys. Thanks, guys. Feel good about the win yesterday. Let's keep it with us. Tomorrow we get Detroit, which is always fun. Coach Casey's going to be angry. I'll do the preview tomorrow in the morning. We'll talk about any new news that happens over the next 24 hours. Looks like we're going to have full strength tomorrow. Everybody's going to be available, which will be a lot of fun. And respect to you, Kenrick. Good morning. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy your Friday. And, be good to everybody and be proud to be Raptors. And, hey, watch the 905 highlights if you can. Watch the 905 game today. Why not? All right. All right. Thanks, everybody.